Hello friends, in today's lecture of design and jigs and fixtures, we are going to study following points. First is location and locating devices. In the location, we will see locating principle that includes degrees of freedom, redundant locations, foolproofing, nesting, and we will going to see locators that control workpiece on flat surfaces, location of cylindrical surfaces, conical locators, centralizers, etc. Also, we are going to see clamping and clamping devices, that is requirement of clamping system, position of clamps, types of clamps, then clamping devices, examples of typical clamps, for example multiple clamping equalizing devices, then link, toggle cam, eccentric pneumatic cams, then component distortions, under clamping and cutting forces, material used for different clamping devices, and harnesses required. Moving to next point, we have to understand basic construction of jig and fixture. Now every jig and fixture consists of what are the important points? Let us understand. First, main body, then locating elements, then clamping elements, then tool guiding and setting elements, then positioning elements, and last indexing elements. We will see one by one over here. Let's understand what is the main body. It is the main body which provides base for other elements. It can be of frame, box, or plate type structure. Main body should be rigid and stable enough to withstand various forces. Second, locating elements. These elements are used to position or locate the workpiece accurately with respect to the cutting tool. Then clamping elements. These elements are used to hold the workpiece firmly in the located position. Tool guiding and setting elements. These elements are used to guide the cutting tool in correct position with respect to the workpiece. In case of jigs, drill bushes are used to guide the cutting tool, and in case of fixture, setting elements are used to set the cutting tool. Next is the positioning elements. These devices are used to secure the jig and fixture to the machine table. And indexing elements, these devices are used to index the workpiece accurately. These devices need not to be a part of every jig and fixture, only in case of requirement it should be used. So we will go now going to the location and locating devices. Now you have to understand the three different parts. The location and locating devices are the devices that will be used to position the workpiece with respect to cutting tool. For example, if you have to cut a washer from 5 centimeter diameter and the inner diameter of the washer is 2 centimeter, then the positioning of the washer should be such that it should be easily fittable and the tool should be easily inserted into that. Therefore, location and locating devices, then guiding elements which are associated with the guidance of tool, and clamping devices that are used for the clamping of the workpiece. Now, in any machining operation, it is required to accurately position the workpiece with respect to cutting tool. Now, this is called as a referencing. Let's understand what is that. There are locating principles, and dependent on these locating principles we have to design while locating. Okay, so the first theory is called as equilibrium theory. Let's understand what it says. Equilibrium can be defined as balance of all the forces applied on the object. To accomplish any machining operation, it is required to have the workpiece in equilibrium condition. The equilibrium should be both linear as well as rotational. Forces and movement should be balanced so that workpiece will remain at rest. Balance of forces and balance of moments is required to achieve linear equilibrium and rotational equilibrium respectively. Now in this diagram you can understand holding force is from top, whereas stationary locator has been placed at the center of the workpiece. Therefore it is counteracting to the holding forces. Therefore linear equilibrium is gain, whereas in the second diagram holding force is coming from up to down and stationary locator is coming from right to left. Therefore, it has achieved rotational equilibrium. Now, this condition states that if the workpiece is in the operation or during the operation, so what we have to understand that if the workpiece or the force is coming from top to bottom or it is coming from any of the side, then in this aspect we should consider an equal and opposite force, so that there will be balancing of forces as well as balancing of moment will be justified. Now this is what stated in the equilibrium theory. Moving to the next. Now we should understand what is degrees of freedom and what are the degrees of locator. So we will go over here. Now first we will understand what are these concepts, and then we will go to the principle of location, that is called as 3-2-1 principle, in the next lecture in detail. But first let's understand what is the condition over here. Now you can see one locator is positioned on the side, therefore it is restricting one movement. Now how it is taking place, let's understand. First, x-axis has been shown onto the left side. A pin, supporting pin, is shown on the left side. On the y dash there are two pins. Now you can easily understand the component won't move on these two directions. Therefore restricted moments have become into number of 2. Now degrees of freedom restricted by one locator. Therefore you can see remaining moments 1, 3, 5 are restricted by clamping devices. Now the principle works very well for rectangular or square workpieces. In case of workpiece having previously machined holes is available, then the center of hole is used as primary locator and another hole is used as a secondary locator. You can see over here a workpiece has been shown. Now this is the workpiece denoted by an first arrow. On to the second side, diamond pin locators are used. They are called as a secondary locators, and round pin locator, that is called as a primary locator over here. In case of workpiece having previously machined hole if available, then the center hole is used as a primary locator and another hole is used as a secondary locator. Now redundant location exists when two locators are used to restrict same degrees of freedom from two different locations. Over here also you can see this situation must be avoided as it may cause inaccuracies as well as it will be more costly. For example, figure number 2.8 shows a location system used for a workpiece in which both hub and flange sides are used for location purpose. You can see in the diagram. In the location system, both flange and hub are taken as reference surface for the location. But this system is not preferable, as this system would accept workpiece only if the workpiece and location system are manufactured without any error. That means there should not be any error in between. Since reference surfaces used in this case are parallel to each other, only one is needed for reference and other should be eliminated. According to requirement, either flange surface or hub surface is used as a reference surface for location. Over here you can see either flange or either hub can be used for the reference surface. So you have to understand basic three considerations over here, that is position of the workpiece, then balancing of the equilibrium forces of the workpiece, and the most important part that you have to study over here or in the clamping or locating devices is how to